welcome back to Boots and Bounty Homestead. My name is Casey. For all you new viewers, welcome back. For all you old friends, we're inside Casey's kitchen today, and as I've explained before, we're on this new journey of trying out this new flour. Because of some health issues I was having, I wanted to swap over and see how this is doing. So far, we are doing great, and I wanted to share this recipe with you because I've never made it, so we want to learn together. This one is homemade tortillas with einkorn flour. Tonight is Taco Tuesday, so I wanted to go ahead and make up some tortilla shells. Now this recipe does make up to about 16 tortilla shells, so we are going to maybe leave out half and freeze half, so that way there's some already in the freezer ready to go for the next time we need them. So we only need 4 ingredients. We need einkorn flour, which this is the all-purpose flour. We need some kind of fat, which we are going to use lard, just Crisco, vegetable shortening. Now you can use a tallow, you can use leaf lard, you can use anything like that, just as long as it's room temperature. And then we need 1 cup of hot water, which I've already put in the microwave to get it hot. And then we just need baking soda and salt. So, we need a bowl. Let's get this stuff measured out, mixed together, see how this is going to turn out. Okay, so the recipe I'm using today, I got off of Pinterest from a modern homestead. I have followed a lot of her recipes, and so far everything is turning out great. Alright, so we've got our bowl out. We need 3 1/3 cup of the einkorn flour. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of salt. And then mix this together. Okay, next is going to be our lard. Okay, so with one thing with einkorn flour, you don't want to overwork it. So you just want to combine it as you saw. Just knead it, and I just kneaded it in the bowl. You can put it out on a flour surface if you would like. Einkorn 1 is very sticky, depending on the water flour ratio. You don't want to overwork it because then it breaks down the gluten in the flour, and anything you cook will just get hard. All your breads will fall. It doesn't do well. And that's after reading a lot of research on it prior to starting to use it. That's one of the things that they warned of. Now you will see, and well, you'll feel as you're working with this dough, it is super soft. It is really smooth. Whereas like with regular flour, when you're making bread and you're kneading it, you have to knead it until you build those glutens up to make it smooth. Whereas this one, you don't do as much kneading. You just mix it and then let it rest. It will do what it needs to do. We don't have to do it for it. So with einkorn flour, you're not kneading for 10 or 15 minutes trying to get it smooth. It's already smooth. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to cover it, let it rest. It says for 45 to 50 minutes. So we'll let this sit here, do its thing, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Alright, so it's been 50 minutes. And we need to portion this out to 16 tortillas. So I think the easiest thing to do is just to take my little scooper thing right here, make kind of like a log evenly, and then just cut it. Now out of these 4, I'm cutting 4, you can quarter them and get 16. Now, it says you need to keep them under a damp towel while you make them. I'm going to move them to the back of the stove here and work with like 2 at a time. And that way I can go ahead and cover them with a damp cloth. Alright, also I'm going to use a griddle. You can use a cast iron skillet if you would like. You heat it up on medium. So I'm going to put my griddle on about 275-ish because I know I usually cook pancakes on 350. That'd be medium high. So I'll do between 275, 300. We'll adjust it as we need to. Alright, so we're going to roll these out. I like to use a wooden cutting board to roll them out on because the flour sticks better. So this is where we're going to try to make them as thin as possible. And these will probably be 6 to 8 inches or so around. I'm going to try to get them as thin as you can before they start splitting. doesn't take much pressure at all to roll it out. So we are cooking until they start bubbling, which is about 45 seconds. And then flip and cook another 45 seconds or so. I'm going to go ahead and turn that up to 300. We're playing this by ear or by eye. I don't quite think it's hot enough yet. In the joy of a YouTuber creator's life, you don't know that you forgot to do a closing bit until you go to edit. So, alright, so you guys seen us where we were putting our tortilla meal together. Some could fold them, some could like burritos, some could fold them in half like tacos. Now, they did crack a lot, but it was because I cooked them too much. You don't want to cook all of the moisture out of them or you're not going to be able to fold them. I mean, that's a duh. But you kind of have to learn with the tortillas. You don't go for color unless you have your skillet or your griddle or whatever really high to where it's going to like sear it. You're not going to go for color. I told you guys to put it on medium high. I ended up turning it up to like 350. But I noticed, like, after I set them on the towel and covered them up while I was cooking them, the first ones on low that didn't have as much color did better than the ones as I was turning them up trying to get that color on them. The latter ones that were on a higher temp are the ones that got crispier. I guess because it cooked all the moisture out of it faster. So keep that in mind. Low. And you want the temperature low, but cook them kind of fast. Like once it starts to get kind of, it said bubbly in the recipe, but mine never got bubbly. They got bumpy because the dough is real smooth. So whenever you put it down, whenever it starts getting bumpy, that's whenever you need to flip it. Now, I don't know how it would work if you wanted to do like, cook them on a griddle and then like toast them or sear them in a hot skillet to get that color. I don't know exactly how that would work. Haven't done that yet, but that's an idea we could try later. So I have decided about 300 degrees on the griddle and cook them for 45 seconds to a minute and then flip it. They're still going to be pretty white. They're not going to have the little, you know, brown specks all over them, but that's okay because I'd rather them be flexible and usable with the meal that we're having instead of them turning into chips. Now, that being said, I have the tortillas here from last night. Some of them, well, most of them are pretty hard. Some of them are still pliable, but most of them are pretty hard, and it's because I cooked them too long. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them into chips. We're just going to like break them up into chunks and just use them as a chip, just a raw edge chip. So not all is lost. So I didn't intend on making chips, but hey, I got chips now that we can eat some fresh salsa with. I've got some guacamole in there. We've got, you know, all kinds of stuff that we can actually use the chips for. And you can freeze those. You can freeze the tortilla shells. I didn't do that. Like I said, we're just going to go ahead and use them since they're so hard. But as you have the soft ones to come off the skillet or the griddle or whatever, let them cool off. And then you'll put parchment paper in between them and then wrap them in plastic wrap, cover them in full, and put them in a plastic bag or some kind of airtight container, and you can freeze them. And then that way you can get, you know, how many ever out you want at a time, or you can take them all out. Now, whenever you take them out, you want to put them on a cookie sheet, kind of lay them out, put them in the oven, put them in a cold oven, and then put your oven on like 200 for maybe 5 to 10 minutes or so, just until they start warming up and getting pliable. You'll have to watch it so you don't, you know, cook them too dry. Anyways, that's how you would freeze them. I'm going to try that with the next batch I make, which will probably be in a couple of weeks. But these are going to be turned into chips now. But they tasted great. Emma was eating them just by itself. I was like, is it good, baby? She was like, I'm eating it plain, ain't I? And it did really good. And by the way, for those of you that are following my journey, I did check my sugars throughout the evening at 30 minutes, an hour, and an hour and a half, you know, that sugar mark as they start rising after you eat. I only topped out at 120, and I had one of the bigger tortilla shells, and I was full by that point, because you have to understand with einkorn flour, it fills you up faster. So normally when you would eat 2 or 3 tacos or 2 or 3 burritos, even making the smaller tortillas, you may only eat 1 or 2. So, you know, you don't have to fix a whole lot while eating the einkorn flour. Any kind of product, any kind, you know, tortilla, bread, cracker, anything like that, you don't have to fix a whole lot because of the content where it's made differently. Like I've spoken before, it's made differently than our flour, so it actually fills you up with the nutrients your body needs, and it lasts longer. So you don't have to eat as much. Therefore, it doesn't affect your sugars, the way it digests. It doesn't affect you like it would, you know, with commercial or just regular commercial flour products that you would alternatively make at home, just because of the makeup of it. So anyways, I would give this a 10 for the recipe, a 6 for my cooking it. But like I said, we're going to be trying and getting this corrected along the journey. And so you'll be seeing pictures on Instagram and Facebook if you guys follow us there, as I correct my mistakes and learn from them, because I want you guys to learn from them as well if you're going on this journey with me, or if you're wanting to learn more about it. So anyways, this is long enough closing, and I guess we will see you guys on the next one. So till next time, stay healthy and make it homemade. Bye-bye.